Hey guys, welcome to the channel. So on today's video, we're sitting here in the Toyota Avalon. I'm going to show you guys how to remove the steering wheel and rewrap the leather on the steering wheel to a brand new leather with colored stitching. If you guys didn't know, the Avalon, the Camry, the Highlander, and possibly the RAV4 all use the same steering wheel from the mid 2015s, 2016s and up. So in today's video, I'll show you how to rewrap your worn out leather steering wheel and replace it with a brand new leather wrap. So over here, we got the new leather steering wheel wrap right here. I got the blue stitching one because I like the blue and I figured it would go well with the Avalon right there I have. What this kit comes with, it comes with some thread right here. It comes with 2 spools of thread. It comes with some tape. You probably don't need this tape if you do it correctly. It comes with a wedging tool, and this wedging tool would be used if you didn't take it apart like I'm going to be taking it apart. So most people do this wrap actually on the car and they don't take the steering wheel off. I just want to make it easier for myself, so I'm actually going to remove the steering wheel. If you choose not to take it off, you can definitely do it sitting inside the car. It's just that you got to sit in the car and you got to work around inside the car, where if I bring it on the bench, it's much easier for me to work on it out here. Yeah, like I said, you could work on it just sitting here and putting that around and then just wrapping over the existing leather that's here. All the edges right here and your switches, that's where you have to actually tuck it in. In my past experience in doing this before, it's much easier just to remove these plastic things and these switches out of here, do that leather wrap, and then put these things back on and just squeeze them in there. As far as removing the actual airbag goes, there's 2 little covers on each side that you want to remove. This is the blank side, and the side with the cruise control has a hole in it, so they cover up this little panel down here. So inside this panel, you're going to see at the bottom here of your horn, I've got the negative terminal on my battery disconnected right now, but if you look inside here, you'll see like a little rod right there. So that rod's actually holding the bottom down. All you have to do is take a flathead, lift that up, pop the bottom off. And if you look way up here, it's kind of hard to see on camera. Here, there's another rod right there that's popping down. All you do is push it in with the flathead, and then the top pops off on this side, and you do the same. So there's 3 of those that you have to pop out. First thing you want to do is do this bottom one. So you just put the flathead there, lift it up, and you can just pop the bottom out, and you can hear it pop out. Top here, you do is you push in, and you pop that out, and it comes loose. And you go inside on the back side, and you do the same. Once you do that, this thing comes loose, and you just lift it out. As I mentioned earlier, I've got my negative disconnected on my battery, so you just want to be careful with this. So once you have this loose, you want to disconnect. This is your horn wire right here, and then these 2 right here are your airbag wires that you want to just pop right off. All right, to remove the airbag connectors, you want to use a flathead, kind of pop the yellow locks in the middle up right there. They come right up. Those are the locks that hold the harness in. Once you do that, you can go ahead and just pop it from underneath, and they just come right up using a clip popper. It does have like a little locking mechanism in there, and then pop that out. So you got this off, put it off to the side, you don't need it anymore. So earlier when I was showing you how to release the airbag, so in here is what you're really looking at. So the airbag goes into these 3 round holes right here, and there's like the little rod right there that keeps it clipped in, right? So on the bottom here, we lift up from the side there and you release it. On the side here, you push in that way from the side and you release it. Same with this side. From the side there, we push it in and we release that. That's pretty straightforward compared to the Torx screws that they used to use back in the day. This is a much more simple way to do the airbag. So as far as removing the steering wheel, we're gonna have this center bolt right here. I believe this is either 17 or 19, and that's the only thing that holds it on. Other than that, we wanna take apart all these harnesses right here so we don't have to worry about them, and we can pull the steering wheel off. So once you unplug those, the only thing that stays behind really on the clock spring is the airbag harness, and that just slides right through when you pull the steering wheel off. These other 2 plugs right here unplugged up top, and then this other plug down here, I tucked it away. And then we're gonna go ahead and just open this right here and pull it off. So the center bolt is a 19 millimeter. Go ahead, comes off pretty easily there. Once you break it, go ahead and unscrew it. Yeah, if you want to just bang on it if it comes off. There you go. So it comes loose before you take the whole nut off. You want to make sure the steering wheel is straight with their reference points perfect. That way when you put it back in, it goes in perfect too. The first thing we want to do is just remove all the switches, pop these plastic panels and everything off so we can actually get in here, put the steering wrap on, and not have to deal with any of these things right now. So these are pretty much held on by Phillips screws all around here. You want to wiggle it around because it's held on by all the plastic trims. Once we get that off, untuck the wire harness from the spot right here. And this whole piece comes off in one piece. Just push the clips out from here and it just comes off the back. Pretty much that's the bare steering wheel right here, and we can wrap it nicely and put it all back in tucked away. So first thing we want to do is kind of figure out our bearings with this thing. So you want to check this piece right here. So it's got this little bit longer piece that looks like it goes up here and it wraps around the corner of the top here. So you want to kind of align that spot and kind of match that up to everything. And from there you have a reference point. You can also use your stitching or the seam right here to match it with the seam on the actual steering wheel. So you just want to get it over it, and then we can wrap it around and start the thread. So once you get the bearings there, you're going to start on one corner and kind of work your way all the way around with the stitching. And then the stitching, there's a couple different ways you can do it. I think on my last one, on my IS300, I went every single stitch and I went all the way around with that. Some people skip every other one on the stitching. The way I did it last time looked much better than the other way that you can do it. But you can look in the instructions and they show you on the actual pictures how to do it also. So for the needle and the thread, you want to just go ahead and thread it right here through the needle. You really don't go that far. You go about the distance of the actual circumference of the steering wheel because you're weaving back and forth like a 1/4 inch at a time. You really don't need that much thread. For the smaller sections, you can actually go with a pretty short length of thread and you'll have more than enough. So what you want to do is just pull enough out that you think you're going to need, cut it, and then you want to start on one end and then work your way all the way across. So for me, I haven't done this in a while, so I'm going to do the short section first just to get started and get more comfortable with it, and then do the other short section, and then we'll do the top last just because that's the longest and hardest single piece you want to do. So the instructions say go ahead and just pull a thread from the inside here and go through all the way and then just tie it off right here. So this is going to be your anchor point. And you want to do it from the inside first. So you want to tie it there. You want to leave maybe a couple inches in case it pulls through or something happens, and you want to have that in here just in case. It's going to be tucked on the inside so you won't see it anyways. You just want to put 2 or 3 knots here just to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. And then you want to keep that, and then the other end is a threading end, so we'll go ahead and just put that through, kind of get everything lined up the way you need to, and then we'll start from the inside and move out. I got the corner here. I'm gonna go back to the back side, and you want to go from underside to over. So we want to go through the overside here. Kind of pull it tight as you can. And then we want to tuck it, make sure it's tucked. Everything's in the right spot. From that side over to here, and then you kind of do the same. Like I said earlier, there's 2 different ways you can do it. You can do it just every single stitch. Some people do like a little more square. This is going to be a much more crisscross pattern that I'm going to do. Go ahead and time lapse this, and then we'll pull down and I'll show you what it looks like. So we got that first side done. As you can see, I looped basically back and forth every stitch and we get it down to here. So you want to make sure it's nice and tight as you go down all the way to the end. And once you get to the end, you want to just do a couple loops here and knot it up. So I've got this pretty much started and we've got a way to go. So right here around these edges, it comes with a tape that you can use to tape down these spots so it stays nice and flat. Actually, I'm going to just use some 3M adhesive that I've been using for my other projects that's made for upholstery, and that's going to be a much better stick right here. So I'm going to use this 3M 90 adhesive right here. Just spray a little bit into there and just let it set. If you want to spread it a little bit, maybe get a stick or something, put it further in where you've already stitched it up, and then we're going to do it all the way on the edges where we're going to start. So spread that around. On the back side here. Once that sticks a little bit and starts setting, I'm gonna go start right here and move that direction. All right, we got this side done right there. So pretty much got the whole bottom done. Got the glue to set right here in the center so it doesn't raise up. This part's gonna be tucked under the plastic once we clip that in. Once I put the trim in, I'll put a little bit more of that adhesive right there just to seal it up. And we'll go ahead and finish all around the top. On the two sides here, I need to spray some of the glue in there. Before I start, I'm gonna start this side and move all the way around this way. So I'm gonna start with the glue here, and then I'll put the glue before I end up over here so it doesn't dry up. All right, got everything stitched up. All the edges and everything are nice and clean now. Everything's tucked away. Back here, right in this area, it is a little bit wrinkled, but once we put the covers on, it should cover most of this up. But we'll go ahead and put this all back together now. Go ahead and snap the back cover on, make sure all the parts and everything are tucked nicely under here. Get all the edges. Get this part on. Make sure it's right here. We'll put a little bit more adhesive right here just to make sure. So that they give you this little tuck tool. So if you need that, just tuck it in. This back area needs a little bit more adhesive. So we were able to get everything back together, nice and tucked all around the edges. So this thing looks OEM right now. It is a little bit of mess up right here in the corner, and then right there is just a little wrinkle. And hopefully the heat of the car and stuff will eventually get that straightened out there on those wrinkles. Down here, everything's pretty much straight. I got the glue and flattened as much as I can there. But on the front side, everything looks good all around the edges here. So we'll go ahead, reinstall this in the car now. So I got the steering wheel back in, got the harness and all that together. Last thing I need to do is put the airbag back in. So the airbag, it goes in the same way you took it out. You want to make sure you pop those pins up so you can snap them in, and the same on both sides. Just snap in. We'll make sure it doesn't come loose. That's good. Got everything back in here. As you can see, everything turned out really nice. This is a very good $20, $30 upgrade. If you guys need the same exact leather, go ahead and check out the links down in the description. I'll have the links to this and all the stuff I use for this project. Hey guys, thanks for watching all the way to the end of this video. As you can see, upgrading this new leather steering wheel or this updated steering wheel cover or wrap makes a big ass difference on the feel and the look of it. It gives it a little bit more girth. Even though the steering wheel originally is already pretty thick, it feels much better now. And with this new leather, not that worn out leather, this thing feels really good. If you guys found this video useful, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel to stay on top of all my different DIY videos, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Turn on bell notifications to get notified every time I upload a video. For all these different projects, if I can do it, you guys can do it. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you guys next time.